All right, here we go. All right, chat. Who you like? One for Borgie. Two for Abdul. There we go. Actually, you know what? This is what I could do. I could do this. Go ahead and vote. See who you like. But either way, here we go. Game number one. Let's get it. Top Affinity and Xerneas will be the play for Abdul here. Stack Ataka and Yveltal. Dark Aura. Everything is being set. Stack Attacker, obviously an immediate threat to both of these mons here. As custom, I don't have one for. So again, we're going to use Grimer. Actually, no, we're not. We'll use. We'll use something different here. I don't have anything for this. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna switch him out right here. Sure. Ooh, okay. There's the Nature's Madness going to come through, taking him out to a half, and here comes the Gyro Ball into that slot, but going to be eaten up by the Incineroar. Not going to do nearly as much damage as it normally would have. I'm using Grimer. I like Grimer. It's the best sprite. I'm using Grimer. Ooh, okay, big damage. Here comes the Stack Attack. Top of Finny avoiding you with a Rock Slide here. But will do some significant damage onto that Incineroar. Stack Attacker about half HP. I'm not sure a Flare Blitz will be able to pick up the KO. I doubt it at this percentage here. The Stack Attacker going to retreat nonetheless. Kartana going to come in. This Kartana has proven to be an MVP for Borgie all day. Here comes the Oblivion Wing going to connect onto the Incineroar, but not going to be able to pick up the KO. That sucks. But will actually be able to pick up the berry here as well, going to bring it well above half HP. Ooh, into the Kartana slot, and there goes Kartana from the Flare Blitz. Stack Attacker going to come back in here. Here comes the heal pulse onto the top of, from the top of Finny onto the Incineroar as well. We're going to bring well above 75%. Going to connect with an Oblivion Wing as well. Incineroar living that Oblivion Wing initially was such a huge deal. So, here comes the Flare Blitz. In what direction is it going? It is going into the Yveltal, or excuse me, into the Stack Attacker slot. Not going to be able to do. I'm going to take about half of its current health, but the Trick Room coming in. Stack Attacker, young building blocks out here. Incineroar being withdrawn here. Gonna bring in the Groudon, which is his 4th Pokemon here for Abdul. Oop. Not Grimer. There we go. Already got a Grimer. Rock Slide going to connect here onto both Pokemon here. Going to possibly hope for a flinch on the top of Finny. But here first comes the Oblivion Wing. Let's see how much damage this is going to do onto this Groudon. Going to do negligible damage if we're being honest. But the Finny will flinch because of the Rock Slide here. It's not going to be able to do whatever it was planning on doing. Maybe even a Swagger. Understanding that it is in Trick Room, so the Swagger would have been huge. We have a couple of options here. What does this Groudon want to do? The top of Finny will be withdrawn here, understanding that it is in jeopardy of dying, but the Incineroar going to come through and try to mitigate the damage from the Stack Attacker. Incineroar already taking out Kartana earlier in the game here. Stack Attacker with Protect as well. Knock off from Yveltal. Going to go into the Groudon slot. Going to knock off its berry. The Mago Berry going to go, and the Precipice Blade's going to come through, going to not connect up to the Yveltal because it is a flying type, and Protect from the Stack Attacker will negate any damage it would have taken. So good stuff. Basically, the big thing about this turn is that you got that berry off of the Groudon. Without Heal Pulse, there is no major healing on that Groudon anymore. Stack Attacker going to retreat, and we're going to reveal his last Pokemon, which will be Incineroar. I mean, who else could it be? That's the best. That's a legendary Pokemon right there. Flare Blitz going to come through from Abdul. Let's see how much damage this does onto Yveltal. It's going to do a pretty decent amount. A little bit over half is what he's left with. Oblivion Wing going to come back and going to connect onto the Groudon. Let's see if he's able to heal enough to get him above half, and he will. More than enough. Gonna bring him to about 60%, and here comes the Precipice Blades. Going to connect onto the Incineroar. He is taking massive damage. Remember, he is -1 from the Intimidate. To return here, the Stack Attacker going to come back into the fray. Groudon going to use his own Protect here. Incineroar connecting with a Flare Blitz into the Yveltal slot, trying to get as much damage as he possibly can. 31%, or excuse me, 31 HP is what he's left with. And actually, the Oblivion Wing going to first time connect onto the Incineroar, going to be able to pick up the KO there and heal back a little bit as well. So Abdul losing his first Pokemon here. The Xerneas will indeed make its return here in the face of the Stack Attacker. Stack Attacker will indeed come back and bring once again the Incineroar back in, reducing the damage from this Groudon once again. Xerneas going for the Moonblast here into the Yveltal slot, so all things considered, that is virtually a win for game number 1 for Abdul here. The Precipice Blades actually miss, but I'm not necessarily sure how much that matters here. Got the Kartana. It's going to be very difficult for him to bring this back, even with the Stack Attacker here. Does that matter? Well, does Xerneas go for the Dazzling Gleam? Well, he's going to get hit with a Fake Out right here into the Groudon slot. Xerneas instead going for the Moonblast into the Incineroar slot, going to guarantee the KO here. Groudon flinch, going for the Trick Room. However, unless this Stack Attack is running like Earthquake or something, but even then, I don't think it does enough damage to KO both of these Mons and a Tapu Fini that's living in the back. So Abdul looks like he'll be winning game number 1. He's looking for the Rock Slide flinches, and he's not going to be able to pick up the KO on either the Groudon or the Xerneas. So he needs a double flinch, but he will not get it. The Precipice Blade is going to come through, going to be more than enough damage, even -2, and Abdul winning game number 1.
Fair enough. He didn't think it would.
Oh, what is Grimer doing there? I don't have an icon for Stack Attacker, so it's been something random every time. But that Grimer is a Stack Attacker icon. I don't have one.
Here we go.
But here we go, game number 2. Tapu Fini and Xerneas will be the same lead for Abdul in game number 2. He's already up game 1. Kartana and Stack Attacker will be the leads for game number 2. Boom. So the Kartana is an immediate threat here, and here's the problem. The Kartana is such a check to so many Pokemon on the Duels team. He has to make it a priority to get rid of the Kartana, because once he does, a lot of his Pokemon are freed up to do essentially whatever they want. So the Kartana is such a priority for Abdul, but I mean, it's up to Nicholas to be able to protect that Kartana. Such a strong lead here. Here comes the Xerneas retreat into the Groudon. And the double retreat here into the Incineroar. A double switch here. We haven't seen one of those today, but definitely going to try and mitigate the damage from this Kartana by the use, and as well as present some immediate threats. Here comes the Sacred Sword into that slot, and because it's -1, it was effectively able to live that comfortably, only taking about half HP. Well, not comfortably, he took half HP, but still, it could have been a lot worse. The Trick Room is set up here, but what does he do? That's the question. That is the question here. What does he do here? So he has a couple of options here. Obviously, like I said, the Kartana was an immediate threat, but he's going to get rid of that and bring in his own Incineroar and try to mitigate some more damage using that Intimidate, as well as providing some fake out pressure of his own for later on. Stack Attacker going to go ahead and use the Protect. Flare Blitz immediately into what was the Kartana slot, but will be the Incineroar slot. -1, going to do negligible damage to that Incineroar. But the Precipice Blades will connect onto the Incineroar. I wanted to wait before I said that, but here we go. Will it be enough? And it was close. 40% will proc the berry, however. -1, that Intimidate coming in clutch for Nicholas right there. But he definitely does have the fake out pressure he desperately needs in this specific situation. Stack Attacker essentially almost free to do, if the fake out comes in on the ground on it, the Stack Attacker free to roam the withdrawing the Incineroar here into the Tapu Fini slot. Groudon using Protect here as well. Fake out into the Groudon slot, which I believe was necessary here. The Gyro Ball going to come through into that slot. Understanding that if he wanted to switch out, he wants to preserve the Incineroar. Switching between the Xerneas would have obviously probably died to that Gyro Ball. So bringing in the Finny, they're going to be taking neutral damage as well. So we still enter in a similar position. The Stack Attacker going to retreat, and the Yveltal is going to come in and revealing his 4th Pokemon here. Here comes as well as the Misty Seed. Knock off as well from Nick, going to go into that Tapu Fini, going to knock off that berry, remove a lot of the healing as well. Tapu Fini going for the Swagger. The Swagger going to greatly increase it. Remember, this is Fini super supportive. It does connect on the Incineroar, and the Incineroar will indeed go down finally to the Precipice Blades, being +1. So the first blood goes to, the first blood goes to Abdul, taking out that Incineroar. Stack Attacker will return here. Tapu Fini there to always support the Groudon. The Groudon in a very good position here. Without that Kartana, it's very difficult to deal with this Groudon in this specific situation. Oblivion Wing plus Gyro Ball might be enough, but you have to risk the Heal Pulse coming in as well. Stack Attacker will return here into the Kartana. Yveltal will protect. Nature's Madness into that slot. And a Fire Punch. Oh, He had the right idea, but he targeted the wrong Pokemon. He had the right idea, he just targeted the wrong Pokemon. He switched out the Stack Attacker, understanding that there was going to be a switch, but it was going to be on the Yveltal slot and not the Stack Attacker slot. Tapu Fini is going to be withdrawn here as well. And here comes the Intimidate to try to mitigate some damage that will inevitably come from this Kartana, making it -1. Knockoff going to try and assist in that damage. Mako Berry, he's not sure if that'll be enough. The Leaf Blade going to come through, and it will not be enough here. The Fire Punch going to go onto the Kartana. Oh, the Incineroar, preserving that Incineroar early on, going to be able to mitigate the damage from the Kartana. Understanding for both players that Kartana was absolutely the win condition for Nicholas in this matchup specifically. And Nicholas is going to go ahead and hit the forfeit. And Abdul Berry wins the first VGC Premier Challenger vs. VGC event of the DMV with a couple of very good plays from both players. Abdul playing out of his mind today, so congratulations to him. He's going to go on with the victory.